So hello friends, many times happens that in hustle of selling a property or buying a property, we jump some compliances which can have a very big tax repercussion in the future. And one such thing is, if suppose you are an NRI selling a property and either you just forget to comply or you are not aware about that what the tax compliance you have to do, or maybe somebody has misguided you and the deal is already done. Now you are realizing that you have jumped important compliances or missed important compliances which can have a far-fetching repercussions in future, and you want to do compliances now. Is it possible? So in other phrase, if I say that suppose if you have not done compliances, sale deed is already done, now you want to do the say NRI TDS compliances. Is it possible now? And if yes, how? This I'm going to tell you in this today's video. So let's start. So hello friend, my name is CA Arun Tiwari and I take care of NRI taxation. Apart from that, I also deal in international taxation and tax litigation. So today I'm going to talk about an issue which happens, and I have got a lot of call about that. So I thought that I should make a video on that. Sometimes what happen that when NRI planning to sell that property, either they are not aware or maybe somebody just misguide them and they miss out this lower TDS or this TDS compliance part. Then after that, they watch my video and then they realize that this is a very important compliance and they should not have missed it. It can be very devastating, you can say, repercussion in future, both for buyer as well as seller, and now they want to do it. But now they are worried whether they should do it or not. Suppose after 1 year or 2 years, if they do this compliance, the income tax will come with the notices and all these kind of things. So they just want to avoid this. But always they have this question in mind whether we can do this or not without a very big expenses on the head. So let me tell you, first thing, yes, it's possible. You can do the lower TDS compliances even after the sale deed is done. You have received money, the buyer has got the property, everything is settled, everybody is happy. The only thing which is not happy is the tax compliances. So it can be done. Of course, it is a late compliance, so there will be some charges, some interest which you have to pay. But those interest and those late fees is nothing as compared to what can happen if the income tax department found out about that non-compliances and they send you notices. Both buyer and seller will get into big problem, right? Now, either buyer or seller has realized that they have missed out these compliances. So how they can initiate? The simple thing, once you have already property deal are done, the transaction date will be considered when the property was registered. Okay. And sooner you do is the better. The only thing you have to pay is a interest. Okay. And the buyer has to pay a late fees which is 300 rupees per day. Now again, it is in benefit of both. So whatever the extra fees is or extra late fees is coming, it's better both of them can divide with each other. So you have to simply approach, and the same tax which you have to pay earlier, you have to pay now. Additionally, you have to pay some interest which will be 1% or 1.5% per month, which we can calculate and tell you if you want to do the compliances. And then after that, after paying, the buyer can also take a TAN number even in the future and do the compliance back then. Of course, there will be slightly, you can say, late fees or interest which you have to pay, but it can be done. And it will be a big peace of mind for both of you. Now somebody can ask, can we apply for lower TDS now? No. Already deal is done. You have received the money. So the lower TDS benefit you cannot receive. The only thing you can do is now calculate the TDS and pay the TDS and then file a return and claim the refund. So this option is always viable with you. Now another question will come in your mind that if I have avoided so far, nobody has sent a notice, why don't just sit tight and quiet? It will not happen. So basically it is a suicidal idea. Because if I tell you what can be repercussion, I'm not telling this repercussion to scare you. If you want, I can send you the proper section under which the penalties or late fees or interest will be levied, and it is going to be very brutal. So if I tell you what can happen if you don't comply with this TDS compliances for NRIs. So if I say about the seller, he can receive a notice where he had to pay interest plus the TDS plus the penalty, right? If I talk about buyer, he has to pay late fees which is 300 rupees per day from the date he has paid money to the seller till the date he has paid all the late fees. So understand, if something comes after 2 year or 3 year or 5 year, and already have told you multiple times that for a NRI taxpayer, the notices can be issued up to 16 years. So the period is very long. while in resident it is only 4 years. Apart from that, he has to pay interest also, not on one section, on two section, 1.5% per month. So these all things can be happen. I don't want to get into nitty gritty and scare you, but only thing I'm saying that even you forget due to whatever reason, you can still do it and you should do it. Okay, it's easier to do compliance than to avoid it and then fight it. So that's all in this video. If you have any question related to this video or related to NRI TDS, FEMA or NRI taxation, please put a comment. Either me or my team will come back and reply that. So that's all in this video. Thank you. Have a nice day.